and welcome to our second session of BALIKBAYAN Returning Home. This is a series called This Is Our Revolution. I'm super excited to be joined by our very awesome players today. So this is part two. I'm going to put a link down in the description for part one, where we did, we went into our first scene. Today we had fun working out our setting elements, which took about an hour because we had such a good time getting into our setting elements and what that means. I'm going to briefly show on the screen, our setting elements, what we've chosen. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go around and introduce our characters. Unfortunately, Diana is not with us today. So our Duwende Reina is not, our player's not here, but the character is still around. But we're going to meet our Tikbalang, our Saint, and our Santelmo. So we'll start in reverse character order. I know I can sense Bethany's like, what do you get? So we'll start with our Santelmo.
Hi, yeah, sorry, I got distracted. I was reminded what time it is over here. Hi, my name's Leandro. Use he him pronouns. I'm playing our Santelmo. Marisol uses she her pronouns. She's described her as like late 20s Lane from Serial Experiments Lane. She's got a big coat, and she's sad because I'm sad and I can't help it. She has a connection to the underworld that has kind of like changed over the years. She's a lot of different ghosts have kind of filtered through her, and it's kind of like left like holes in her memory. So she's quite scattershot and kind of just flickering with different forms and faces if she like just forgets herself a bit. She's got a lot of stories in her, and she's kind of like trying to like reconnect which ones are hers and which ones are others. No, I don't know what Pocket. I don't know what makes you think I'm a goth. I don't know why. Don't know why.
And I love this image Leandro picked out for Marisol. It's super cool. And with that, thank you so much, Leandro. We're going to move on to Puckett.
Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Puckett, he, him pronouns. I'll be playing something at least adjacent to a saint named Eduardo Abayan. In the last session, he was leading a meditation group, and someone from his past arrived and basically disrupted everything. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what the heck deciding to let a little god ride his body is going to result in.
Yeah, and I also love this visual we have of Eduardo. It's super awesome. Yeah, and I remember Marisol had this really awesome moment. Well, I don't know if we can say awesome, but evocative moment at the shrine, right next to the.
Yeah, I don't know if you call it a shrine. It's a big bullet that hasn't exploded yet. Yeah, it was connecting with the ghost of a soldier.
Yeah, that was a super cool moment. I love that. Okay, and then last but not least, Bethany, can you go ahead?
Yes, I'm playing Ava, the Tikbalang, who is a shapeshifter. They use I put they, them, or any pronouns because I feel like somebody who shapeshifts has to be gender fluid. Like it's just part of the experience, I think.
Like what is form, what is gender?
Right. Like I can turn into a cat or any animal of any size, whether it's the actual size of that animal or not, apparently. Why would I be bound by notions of gender? So last time they talked to a ghost bird. And
who was scared of you being a big cat.
and tried to amuse children by having them chase lizards up and down this robot that is also apparently that could be an issue, as it turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. So last time we left our elementals, so just to reestablish our setting, all of our characters are runaway elementals. They were enslaved by the corporation to use their magic to serve the Corp's interests. They managed to take advantage of an opportunity. They got help through a machinist to disconnect the elementals from the mainframe. But so now they're on the run, and they're in a refuge full of other people who are also on the fringes of society in this city that's torn by war, that is still recovering from the effects of that war, and memory hunters and a sentient smog. It's all delicious stuff from the last session that we covered a bit. And so in particular, we have this really large robot that previously was like sleeping on this huge unexploded. Oh, I suddenly remembered the bullet that we want to come out of it, that I want to come out of a huge gun. That's my wish. That at some point there's going to be a huge gun that's going to show up. So this huge bullet that did not implode, that did not explode. But unfortunately, someone from Eduardo's past, Cesar, showed up quite mysteriously. Appears to be hacking into this robot that was once an instrument of war, this huge robot, and is also trying to, I'm tempted to say, get the most out of Eduardo, trying to, because Eduardo is currently offering a ride to a little god of fear that tried to eat up our guest, and the guest was having none of it. So currently, Eduardo's in a body that's kind of part snake, but now it's also part spider. I apologize to anyone who has a problem with spiders and snakes in one being. Yeah, so I think this is a good question to ask. I think just to really set it up. So Cesar had just like placed his hand on your chest. The spider legs had just burst out. I think around this time, because I talked to Diana off screen about what's going to happen for her character. At the same time, Caesar, who had pushed the hood back, looks towards the robot. So one hand is on Eduardo's chest. Their eyes are like looking towards the robot. And now that their hood's down, you can sort of see their face a bit better. And it looks like this part of the face is still present. It's still organic. It's still fleshy, but everything behind it is just sort of, it's just holograms that are like fritzing in and out, that are shifting. Like Marisol, like if you're nearby, like if you can see it, it sort of looks similar to like what happens when your form shifts, but you can see like, like the back of that professor's head from Harry Potter, like when there's like another, yeah, but it's like a lot of faces that are trapped in there. And they're sort of like silently screaming. You can see they're trying to claw their way out, and it's not happening. So Caesar has in some way, we have our safety tools. If Jamie's going off board, you can just like say stop.
I mean, I know my question is, is Caesar wicked enough that the little gods in the area are going to help me?
Oh, yes. Yes, so if you would like to smite the wicked, he is definitely wicked enough. My question for you is, because I remember like when you first saw Caesar, Eduardo was struggling to remember where we had seen, because we saw a glimpse of Eduardo's past working for the Corp. Is that right? Like I remember there was a time when you were
because I kept tapping Marisol to come in and tell me stories of the dead. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So my question for you is, you can see him now that he's close and his energy is connected to yours. What makes him so wicked? What has he done that makes the little gods in the area react so strongly?
There are very young children flickering in the back of his head. It's not just that he has fed on people. It's not just that he is fed on adults. It's that he has fed on anyone who he had access to. He became the absolute worst kind of predator.
I do want to point out we have a line on harm to children.
Okay, let me script change that. He's fed on anyone that he could get access to. You know, the sick, the elderly, the disabled, just anyone who he felt he could gain any kind of advantage from.
Anyone who was vulnerable, basically.
Yes. So yeah, I'll spend a token to smite him with like pure righteous fury.
Sure. So just so that everybody can see what exciting things we're going to do. We're activating elemental magic. In particular, it's a strong move to spend a token. Just to be clear, you can always use your magic, even as a neutral move. It's just that there are added consequences if you do so. So here,
Now,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I do wonder though. Are any of the little gods in the area whispering to me that there's any goodness left in Caesar? That there's any reason to spare him, to show him any mercy?
Okay. I will say that most of the gods are clamoring for you to smite the wicked. But there is one voice that almost sounds like a song. You can barely hear it. It's whispering through. And as you hear the song, you can sort of see like it flickers in your mind, these visions of Caesar previously having a life. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm going to offer something. We don't have to go with it. But what I'm seeing is that in the past, the way that he had learned how to take advantage of people was because he learned from you. And then he took that lesson and just distorted it and just went into terrible, but it was something like it was planted in him, this seed, and it corrupted him somehow. And while it's not your fault that he became like this, there is a sense of guilt. Like, you did plant the seed. There is some sense of responsibility for the way that he turned out, because he is also part of the Corp system.
Which little god is singing this song?
This little god is, I want to say it's the god of, it's a Tagalog word, so I'm trying to find an English term for it. It's a god of debt. Yeah. It's like this idea of like, I owe you, you owe me. And so part of your success in the Corp was because of what he did for you.
I want to invite that little god to use my body for a time.
Okay.
And I'll use the token that I get from that to use magic with unwavering faith to perform a miracle.
Ooh. I like this. Okay, so just to clarify, just going to read it out for everybody so they can. So perform miracles. Miracles are easy to receive, even in God-forsaken cities. Reach out to the little gods in the area and pray for a miracle. So we'll choose one. The gods overdo it, or the miracle asks for a cost, or a third party is required to perform the miracle. What is the miracle that you would like to happen? So you sort of feel like, I think I also want to describe what it's like when the god enters your body, right? So when the little god of debt comes, it is, you are overwhelmed with this sense of gentle sadness. Like, it's a very soft sadness. It's the kind of sadness you feel when you're looking out onto the ocean and the rain is going to come in. It's a sense of sadness when someone's going to leave for a little while. It's just a small amount of sadness just chipping away slowly, bit by bit, for what happens when we do not resolve our debts, when we do not return this energy that someone else gave to us, right? And the little god is happily in your body, but it's not actually trying to get you to do anything. It's just coexisting with you, infusing you with the sense of small sadness.
Yikes.
I'm trying to, for Filipinos who are watching, I'm trying to describe the sense of utang ng loob. So like,
Yeah, I get you.
I might have to put that into the lore project.
I mean, you're kind of describing an early Morrissey record.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
Please don't. He's a jackass now.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
Yes,
but he does capture that feeling very well.
Every day is like Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Just that one song then. Okay.
So I will the little god, this god of debt, help me perform this miracle?
Absolutely. And what miracle do you desire? Like you can tell even before it fully forms in your mind what you want to happen. The god is ready to give over their energy to you. It's very different from the god of fear, who is currently like still battling against, because like I sort of imagine like it's still, this battle is ongoing with Caesar, but this quiet still moment is happening for you, like as if time is freezing. But yeah, so they're ready to help you. What miracle would you like to perform?
Is there any way at all to restore the people that Caesar has harmed?
Through a miracle, yes, absolutely. Like I just really have to establish that elemental magic is incredibly powerful. There's a reason why the Corp wants to control it. So yes, you can restore those people.
I want to restore those people, remove every single memory of the trauma from them. I mean, I want them to show up restored wherever with absolutely no memory of where they've been or what happened. And I want Caesar to become free of this, for lack of a better word, curse. And whether that freedom leaves him intact and alive or moving on to something else, my care factor on that is limited. I want to restore the people he's harmed and set him free in whatever way I can.
Okay, so that kind of feels like, because I'm looking at the options to choose, do you want this little god to overdo it? Do you want there to be a cost? Or do you want a third party to have to assist you?
Well, that's a good question. I take it this cost is
Mm-hmm.
I take it this cost is going to be more than a token.
Think of it as a narrative cost. Think of it as a,
sure.
Like you don't, yeah. But definitely, it could be the cost of like you said, maybe Caesar has to disintegrate in the process. It could be the cost of maybe the Corp is able to track this magic. Like there are different ways we could say that the cost is the hollow ghosts in the area become agitated. Whatever you feel would be the most appropriate and narratively satisfying.
Well, considering what Eduardo is doing now, like leading meditation groups, I think it'd be really interesting if this little god picked up on his regret and overdid it.
Ooh.
The same way that he's kind of backed completely away from everything he had ever done,
Mm-hmm.
and is trying to make amends for it in whatever way he can now.
Right. So what will it look like when the little god overdoes it?
Well, that's a heck of a good question.
Yeah, anyone can jump in. You can get ideas from Bethany or Leandro, what they think it looks like overdoing it.
So the miracle is to restore all these people, wipe their memories of the past, however long
Trauma.
that they've been. What if it also like takes away any awful things that have happened to like anyone in the vicinity?
Oh, wow.
Which, like, on the one hand, yay, nice. I don't remember that anymore. But on the other
On
hand,
the other hand,
I also didn't learn from it. Like, I don't have that experience at all anymore.
I love it. I'm getting goosebumps. Yes, my answer is yes. How do we feel about it, Leandro? Is there something you wanted to suggest?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm feeling those goosebumps as well.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good idea. So such a good idea. So I think with that, when you give it over and you feel the little god just very gently, very, very lovingly going through your memories, seeing the amounts of regret you have, how you're pushing yourself so hard, Eduardo, to make up for your past mistakes. You can hear a little voice that says, you don't have to push yourself so hard. We are all here to help you. And with that, you can feel, I think I want each person to give me a memory that's going to be erased by the miracle, like a traumatic memory, because we're all in the area, right? So that's going to be released.
Yeah, that's tricky for Marisol because she doesn't really know which of the memories she has are hers or not.
Yeah, that's true. It could even be one of the other people who gets.
Yeah, that's. I have an idea, but it involves having to interact with the soldier ghost for a bit. So like,
Sure, we could do that.
yeah, because I have an idea of like what's happening as this whole confrontation is happening.
Sure. Do you want us to come back to you, or do you want to go into it now? Because I think either is fine.
Well, come back to me.
Okay.
Still
Sure. Let it percolate. How about for is it Ava or Ava? I'm fitting out.
I think I've pronounced it both ways.
Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, she's super fluid. They're super fluid.
Right,
He's
yes.
super fluid.
Gender, name, pronunciation, shape,
It's super
all
fluid.
change.
But yeah, so what traumatic memory or difficult memory is released?
So there was someone else who like, or the I guess elemental who helped us disconnect from the mainframe was trapped in the process and didn't get to come with us. And I think I lose part of that. Like I know what happened, but I don't remember like the specifics of trying to reach her and like, you know, pull her along with us and like the like terror that came with that, and especially not the regret of having to like, oh no, I have to leave now or we'll both just be stuck here forever.
Right. It's almost like
that
the
is the
memory
specific part of it that I lose.
Yeah. It's almost like if you replay the memory now, it's like you're watching someone else's memory. It's almost that distant because it's more traumatic, emotional parts from it. Yeah, I super like that. So we can see like that sort of just, it's like Remember Me, where it's like that video game where it's just wiping away that aspect. That's so beautiful. So how about for Eduardo? What's being erased or what's being let go of?
I'm going to give you something very fun to play with, Jamie. Eduardo at one point was dealing with one of the top people in the Corp who was bragging about the safety protocols they used to keep the elementals enslaved and how it caused them harm and how it hurt. But hey, at least we get to live for hundreds and hundreds of years, so who cares? I mean, we're just going to siphon all this stuff off of them. But included in that were hints about how to set the remaining elementals free. but because Eduardo associates that with the pain of hearing about the injustice that's being visited on people in someone else's behalf, that goes away, and he doesn't remember it anymore.
Ooh. Right. So he loses he loses
A
some
potentially useful piece of information that could help down the line.
Yeah. Ooh. And would we say, like, let me know if this is too much salt to the wound, that if Eduardo had shared this information with someone, it would have ensured that it had survived in some fashion, but because it's attached to shame and to this anger, you hadn't had the chance to share it.
The funny thing is, a lot of times when somebody's trying to teach you how to meditate or whatever, a lot of times what somebody's trying to teach you tells you more about who they are than what they're trying to teach you. So he's teaching meditation classes. And what he's really trying to do is teach himself how to do these things and how to find this state of grace and forgive himself for the things that he's done.
Yeah.
That's why his initial impulse was, I'm going to smite. And then that little, the little voice about, wait, look for something else first. So it is very much associated with shame and guilt that this was going on and he did nothing about it.
Yeah.
And now has to try to make amends for it, has to try to atone, to settle debts, you might even say.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Yeah, I love it. So that's the memory that's just disintegrates, it just falls away. I feel like the way that this God performs the miracle with you, it's just such a gentle, subtle way of doing it. And then how about Marisol? So what's going on when we focus on Marisol?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of inverting it a bit. So because again, Marisol is like a massive memories from so many different places, from whatever memories have crossed over from the underworld. So I think when this wave kind of hits, when this like God overcharges, so to speak, it actually dredges up a memory, like actually pulls, instead of wiping it away, it pulls it out of like the mass. So I think when like Marisol is about to like talk to this soldier ghost, instead of just getting their vibe, she's suddenly struck dumb by suddenly this like kind of like memory that's almost kind of like replaying, and I think it kind of like almost like bubbles out of like her head, literally, in a way. Like, and I think the memory is just hold on, let me look at her setting element, her city, just to remember what it looks like. I think it's night, and it's walking through this like garden. It's like the camera's going, it's hazy, and it's like flashback filter where it's like someone smeared the camera lens with Vaseline, so it's a bit weird and unknowable. And like I think even when you're viewing this memory, there's like static clinging at the edges. And it's Marisol. I think we see them from afar, and there's like a moment where she's holding hands with this other girl who Marisol in the present recognizes that one memory she thinks is hers, the human lover that she thinks she has, and it's far away, and it's like, and then we kind of get like a cut, and it's weird because, sorry, I'm kind of like messing with I guess the media that we're looking at, because what it looks like to the memory, suddenly there's like this cut to this black screen, almost like a silent film, and just like the captions. So I took a job at the Corp, and when we cut back, it's the two of them arguing, but we can't hear what they're arguing about. And I think there's a moment where like the memory just kind of like stops, and like Marisol, like it's like you're in a dream and you want to like be able to control and like, oh no, replay. No, I want to get closer and I want to hear what's happening. And she can't because it's all at the mercy of this like little gods overcharging. And then ooh, do I want to make the memory fade? Because this is part of it, you know?
Oh, actually, I feel like what if now Marisol has a choice? Either allow this memory to fade or allow one of the ghosts that's attached to her to fade.
Oh, ooh, that sounds like a weak move.
Yeah, it does sound like a weak move.
I think Marisol is spent quite some time not knowing who she is, that she has this one concrete proof that I think she would be selfish enough to let any other thing be destroyed in its place. And maybe because at the previous session, Marisol used a bit of her power to like get a bit of not a tiny bit of that soldier ghost, and like she was gonna do her usual thing, which is like, okay, learn their story, let them in for a bit, and let them live on for a little bit. But I think almost like as okay, this is gonna sound kind of horrible, because Marisol's kind of like a bridge. So this destroyer precious secret or memory is just like she's already made a connection with the soldier ghost. So when this is all happening in seconds. So when this little god's wave comes in, instead of hitting that memory that it dredged up, she refocused that energy at the soldier ghost.
Ooh, yes.
And because they are a hollow ghost, well, the thing is, they're not going to die, but I think they're going to like, we're not going to die again because they're already dead.
Destabilize.
Yeah, they're going to destabilize a bit because it's not like what Caesar did, which is like, feed on people and kind of like hold them on. This is like a ghost. This is a fragment. This is like a bit of memory, and it's horrible, but like. No,
yeah, but this tells us that Marisol, like in the moment, was so desperate to hold on to this memory, like because there's so little of Marisol's past, right? So
even though it's a bad memory, she feels that it feels bad, like it.
But it's worth holding on to.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it. It's so good. But yeah, so go ahead and take that well-earned painful token.
Better be something good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's really good. And I think so. What happens next is the miracle starts to really take shape. It starts to really fill up the entire area. Everyone can feel it, but I think Marisol is especially sensitive to everybody's memories being shifted. You can see that information leaving them. Everyone around you in the refuge. You can even see it happening to the robot, the big robot. Like part of its memory starts to. You can see that it's had gentle memories of being made and stuff like that. And but then the traumatic parts of the war are being removed from the robot, right? The thing is, yeah. Someone asked, did we just create the Iron Giant? Yes, I couldn't help it. But the thing is, like, so Caesar, I feel like he doesn't even scream. Like there's almost a sense of relief on his face as it starts to happen, as he is forced to let go of all of these people and this power that he's been holding on to. Like it's you can sense, Eduardo, that he had been doing this because he didn't know what else to do, just scrambling for this power. It's like it became a curse, like you said, on him. And then so as each person is lifted out, you can see that the little god gently puts each person, they're like all these, like, because they're remnants of war all over the place, and there are all these smaller robots all over in the junk areas, and each soul gets put into one, right? And all the robots start to, like, quotation mark, wake up, like, and start looking at their hands, like, confused for a moment. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for Reina or Duwende. I think she's going to be busy like trying to deal with all of this sudden robotness and we'll talk to Diana next time, like what she wants to do with these these spirits. Does she want to help them move on? Does she want to put them in something else? Does she want to help them with their bodies? But for now, all of these, they're free. They no longer have the trauma, and they're in stronger, better bodies than they were. I think anything's better than being stuck at the back of someone's head, but like almost anything. Oh yeah. We have to see what memory Diana loses. Taking note. What? I'm gonna write this down. Diana, Reina, memory. Okay. But yeah, and then so I also feel like you sense Caesar's trying to hold on. I don't think he's gonna, but I think he's gonna ultimately let go. Like with he like tries to reach out towards you, Eduardo, with a weak hand.
The one thing I'd like to try to figure out before anything like that happens is how he was able to do this. And that might require another miracle.
Or it could also be, what essential truth are you not seeing?
Okay, then.
It depends on how you want to flavor the answer, actually. Yeah.
You know what? Why don't I just earn another token and say, what essential truth am I not seeing?
Sure.
I mean, that brings me up to 4.
Yeah.
So, basically Eduardo's just going to cut loose at some point, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But if that works, then that works. Yeah. I mean, we could perform another miracle. I'm sure Marisol would be very helpful in like trying to get that information.
Yeah.
But I'm happy getting a token too.
Right. So the question you asked was how is he doing it, right? Like
how was he able to do this?
Yeah.
Because he's not an elemental. There's nothing elemental about him. He was I hate to put it this way, but he was kind of a low-level flunky.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the last time you saw him.
He was the kind of guy who would do terrible things because of access to power, or thinking that it would move him one rung higher on the ladder in the corporation and get him one step closer to people who could do things for him or give him more money or greater status. So I'm not terribly surprised that he did it, but I want to know how, because if he can do it, that suggests maybe others can, and this is not something that I want going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens is Caesar reaches out to you with a hand, and you can see like it's starting to like sort of break away. It's starting to fall apart, disintegrate, almost
like pixelating, or
it kind of looks like it's pixelating, but a part of it reminds you of the sentient smog. Like there's a way that it's moving, that it's infused, and so the hand reaches out, and like just the very tips of what's left of his fingers touches against your temple, and once again the moment freezes for you, and like you're still there, you're still standing. I'd say by this point the fear god has kind of calmed down. You no longer have spider legs coming out of your back or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But the moment freezes, and in like just next to you, you can see a part of the refuge just looks like the office you used to have. It looks like a conference room that used to be part of. It looks like a part of this. It kind of looks like Control, except not so 70s looking Control, the video game. Like this kind of very cold, corporate, empty kind of space, very foreboding. And so we see you, and once again, you can jump in at any time and change anything I'm going to say. But we see Eduardo, the younger version of Eduardo, like sort of just tapping the edge of their face, kind of impatient. There's someone giving a presentation to them. And we hear this past Eduardo saying, no. What I want to know is, how are we going to make the elementals obsolete? We cannot keep depending on their magic. They are not a resource that we can depend on. They are fallible. They are weak. We need something to replace them. And we see Cesar trying to like offer you something. Oh, we can take their power. We can do it like this. Like he shows you the machine that they built. and you say, this is ridiculous. If there's no way someone is going to be able to pull this off, it would just drive them insane. And that was the moment that really like cracked Caesar and made him go, I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to show him like I can do it. Like I can gain this power. And so that's how he so you realize like the ability for him to do this is something that the Corp has been working on. It's one of the many ways that they're trying to make the elementals obsolete. But we also know from this memory that it's not entirely stable. We can see that's why Caesar turned so cruel and so disengaged from everything, because of the limits of this technology. Does that make sense?
Too much.
But yeah, so you can see it clearly how that happened. So the essential, I'm just looking at how it's worded. Yeah, the essential truth is that what's in front of you is just
A
evidence.
monster of my own making.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you got a token.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! My past me was horrible. It's true for everybody. It's true for so many people, though. So, I would say this is a good time. Like the scene, everybody is confused about what happened. Caesar is already starting to fade and disintegrate. I'm going to say, though, Eduardo, this gives you a nagging suspicion about the sentient smog, though, and like somehow it's connected. Maybe the Corp made it. It kind of looks similar. You're not sure. Maybe he just swallowed a part of the smog, and that's why it was looking like that. There are lots of questions. But everyone starts to calm down, and everyone looks kind of peaceful because of the miracle you performed. They don't, like, even though they were almost attacked and this robot almost went off, like for some reason, everyone's like really, really calm as a result.
Great. All my
miracle.
meditation students saw me turning into a spider thing, and they're now super chill about it all.
Yeah, it's fine.
Your
It's
lessons
fine.
worked really well. They were so calm.
They reacted so well. I know, yeah. So, but for now, everything is safe. We can say Reina is attending to. So I don't want to go too much into the robots and stuff. I want to leave that to Diana when she comes back. But what would everybody else like to do? Because this is a good moment to have like people come together to sort of like maybe talk about what Caesar is up to, or what he did before he dissolved.
Yeah, I was gonna wait to see what Ava was up to, because I think Barzal is gonna come find them.
Sure. Just show up mysteriously. I get it. Yes.
I mean, I think just like watching this and, ready to intervene in some way. But, well, no, Eduardo seems to have it under control. So cool.
I would say that's true, but I would also say that when the enormity of everything kind of hits me, I collapse. Like I just kind of pass out.
Ooh.
And just crumple to the ground.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So so I guess Ava would see that.
Yeah. Okay. So I conclude that, maybe he, no, apparently not okay. Don't know what the what's his Caesar did to him, but apparently something. So, yeah, just like go and I don't know what my let me see. Do I have something to do here?
Ooh. You could technically take on a form that would support him and help him. You could also ask for help from a spirit guide.
I'm looking for. See if I have a weak move that
Oh, sure.
But
Sure.
I don't really. Yeah, cat's always right.
Well, I do have a suggestion. You could reveal a dangerous vulnerability, like, and by saying like a vulnerability Eduardo has, like, so you go over, and you see what's happening, and you say what it is, but it has to be something like, now that you've discovered it, other people know it's there.
Right. I have to reveal it in some way. Okay. It did not occur to me that I could reveal other people's vulnerabilities for that one. That's really cool.
Should I make it
Could I-
taking notes?
Could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Maybe the vulnerability is that performing a miracle takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense because we're not just using our own magic. We're going above and beyond and like leveraging little gods and who knows what else in the process. It's a lot of power flowing through us at once that we're not yet necessarily used to.
Yeah, so I think like in my concern, thinking that Caesar did something to you, I end up like saying out loud, "Oh, you just used too much power. You'll be fine. It's okay. Just we'll find you somewhere to rest for a while. You'll be fine tomorrow."
Yeah, and you can sort of see the allies around you, like the other people in the refuge, look a little concerned, because before this point, they sort of saw you as like these invincible elementals, and now for the first time, they see like there are limitations. Even though they should know better, they should know that you're people, and the fading is happening, but
right. But yeah, at the same time, they haven't seen like,
mm-hmm.
well, they haven't seen any of us overdo it.
Yeah. I feel like this is the first time Eduardo's performed a miracle on this scale, perhaps. Like,
I don't think there's any perhaps or maybe about it. I think this is the first time. I think most of what he's done has been trying to bide his time until he can figure out how to atone for what he's been part of. And so he's doing what he can think of to try to make things around him better.
yeah.
While he tries to figure out how to make things in a broader circle around him.
Oh, yeah. So if he hasn't done this, I'm definitely like kind of, trying to be very calming. Like it's okay. This happens. We'll just find you, like I said, a safe place to rest for a while. You'll be okay. This is just what happens when you use too much power at once. And I'm trying to be like reassuring, but actually
It's making it slightly worse. Well, not
Yeah.
worse.
Well,
yeah.
here's a good question. Has Ava ever performed a miracle? Or do you know about this from seeing it?
I think I've done things that put me in that sort of state. Because I've dealt with the heart of the city,
Yeah.
which probably always does something like this.
Ooh.
It's never a pleasant experience. It's always at least very overwhelming, I think.
I'm writing this down in our setting elements. Go ahead.
And like actually trying to do anything involving the heart of the city, it's like that's all I'm going to be good for that day.
Yeah.
So whenever any of us uses more power than we're used to, we need somebody to help take care of us for a day or so.
Maybe.
We've got to rely on each other a little bit more. I mean, there's that kind of tend and befriend and care and compassion element to it.
At the very least, it probably limits what you can do after that. Like you're.
Yeah, and it depends.
You can't just keep using that level of power all endlessly and expect it to be able to do that.
Here's something I want to know. Does Ava let anyone take care of her when she does that? Or when they do that?
No, I think they turn into whatever kind of animal feels the most natural and safe at the time and finds like and behaves like an animal and like finds a dark corner to hide in.
So like Ava
And,
would,
like growls at anybody that approaches.
it's like Ava might turn into a fox and then curl up and put their tail over their nose
Mhm.
and go to sleep for a bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I like. Yeah, so definitely you've earned that token. For Ava, I wonder, do you want to add another token for what price does the spirit realm ask? Like maybe there's something
yeah.
the
I
spirit realm can do.
keep missing the questions. Definitely.
Yeah, you know, I also have that same problem, right? Even
The questions are in bold right there. And I keep
yeah.
overlooking them.
Yeah, I just have a post-it out that says, "Don't forget the questions." That's why I'm asking them.
Yeah. What price does the spirit realm ask?
Yeah, like maybe
Um,
the spirit realm can do something to help.
maybe,
Eduardo.
yeah. Or maybe like the spirit realm. I wonder if the spirit realm like okay, so I'm seeing all these robots like stir to life and stumble around looking confused. So I think that's what I want
Yeah, they
help
look like
with.
drunk babies or something.
Yeah, that's what I want help from the spirit realm about. Like I know what
Oh.
Eduardo's going through. I think I'm relatively confident that I know what Eduardo's going through, but the all of these robots waking up with the spirits of all those people, that I don't know how to handle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of wondering, should we leave that for Diana?
Ooh, maybe, yeah.
Ooh. Or like
I mean, I want to know the same thing too, but like
yeah.
she's the one with the knowledge of that stuff.
It's true.
Ooh.
So maybe
Yeah.
we want to know, but it's just not accessible to us for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Or maybe we can at least say that in terms of what price is the spirit realm asking, maybe just a reminder. Like we don't know what's gonna happen with the robots per se, but like Ava, you know that there's a price to be paid for all of these spirits suddenly coming back. There's a balance that's been
Tilted,
shifted dramatically. I think even Marisol would like feel this. Like Sulad is like the underworld is like, what the fuck? Like where did all these people go? They were imprisoned in this dude, and now they're out and
Now there's a
about.
vacuum that's sucking something else in.
Yes. So let's say that's something that you can take care of. So like Diana like deals with the Reina deals with the robots, but Ava has to worry about this sort of like vacuumy kind of situation. And then like I think it would be so far as like I feel like even a spirit guide would show up like expressing they don't say anything, right? You only notice that they're there because they're just standing amongst the robots, and this person it's hard to say what gender they are. Like it's like you, right? Like very, very fluid. They have like long, like it looks like dreadlocks, but they're all these like lights that glimmer in the hair, and their eyes are like pure black, and they're just staring at you, and they have like a finger up, and they're not even saying anything, but you know that they're saying, "You have to fix this. You have to fix this, or we will fix it."
Yeah. So sending, Caesar there was not sufficient to fill that gap. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But you get another token for that.
Yeah.
For setting that up. So now you have to figure out. It'd be a good idea to work it out with Marisol, like what to do about these.
Yeah, that
vacuums.
would be the person that I would definitely ask about.
Yeah. Because like it would compromise the safety of the space as well.
In the meantime, I'm kind of sort of becoming a little bit steadier, and I'm just looking around at all these little robots doing their little robot-y things, and I'm just smiling at them because, I mean, it's a problem and we're going to have to fix it, but it's just so adorable.
Yeah.
Like, this is the cutest problem ever.
They're moving around like puppies. Yeah, basically. Like they're all trying like what's happening? But yeah, and I would say I kind of want to move forward time a little bit, unless there was something we'd want to take a look at, or
Marisol, is there anything that you wanted to do with anything in this scene?
I think not specific thing, probably just like a mood. I think because everyone feels like just calm and a bit happy because again they got rid because that miracle got a thing. Except for Marisol.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I think so what happens just like I think she goes off to like to talk to Ava about this, but I think she sees like all these robots and just like the feeling that like, oh, everyone seems to be calm and happy. They seem like they got all their troubles and washed away a bit, and I think there's that feeling of like people here like something bad happened, but now it's all good. And I think Marisol sees that and just feels so confused and alone, so she's just gonna withdraw into the background.
Oh, nice. Yes, get your token.
Yeah, it's a weak move.
Yeah. And actually, I want to say, like, I'm thinking about the level of the miracle. I'm looking at the setting elements of magic. I think this is definitely grounds for marking towards Reborn. I think it feels like it makes sense that when Eduardo released all of these spirits, it really started to shift magic away from the hold of the Corp, right? Like what they're doing. So we'll go to that tab. Let me show it on our handy dandy screen here. So here under Homecoming, mark towards Reborn when the fiction demands it. So I'm gonna mark it. I'm a little OC, so I'll put a color. So what happens is when it's marked, so just as a reminder, both our magic and the heart of the city evolves us. We can become strong enough to destroy the Corp and free all the enslaved. We can be reborn and bring this dying city back from the brink of death, which we established offline that the city is like Baby Yoda. We'll get back to that later. Anyway, if we are reborn before we are captured, we create our new home. So when we mark towards Reborn, which we just did, we can choose any of these options. One of us is revitalized. We choose to free an enslaved and they join our cause. One of us strengthens. We temporarily gain access to one form of elemental magic from another playbook. This will last for as long as the story demands. Which option is exciting to us?
I mean, considering that we talked about the prospect of the Corp trying to convince an enslaved elemental to set us up, maybe freeing an elemental is an interesting choice. Maybe it's a little easier than it might have otherwise been.
Yeah. Do we want to say that in this moment, when things start to calm down, we actually see an enslaved that was nearby as backup, and when Caesar was taken care of, they now joined the cause? Does that make sense?
That would be really cool.
Yeah. Who do we want this? I love this idea. Who do we want this enslaved to be? It could be like us, or it could be one of the other playbooks we haven't had a chance to see. So it could be a Dewata, it could be a Swang.
I almost don't want to say Aswang because this game is goth enough as it is. Maybe a Dewata because they're elemental.
Well, now I totally want it to be that.
Oh, Jesus.
We can get you a little.
I want to see who's going to out goth Leandro.
Well, if it's an NPC, it's going to have to be, Jamie's going to have to do their best.
Yeah. Oh, no. I love playing edge ladies and edge lords and edge people.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Yeah, I like that idea, though. In my other BALIKBAYAN game, I'm playing this trash Aswang. So like, we won't make them trashy.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking about the Wicked and the Divine comic, if you're familiar with that.
Jesus, yeah, that comic.
Yeah.
Which one in particular? I've just seen bits and pieces. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, I'm thinking about Baphomet and God, what was her name?
The Morrigan.
The 3-in-1. Yeah, the Morrigan.
Morgan. Okay, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, our problematic goth couple.
Oh, they're so cute though.
God, they're messed up.
And they're
It's a hot mess, but I'm just thinking it might be kind of funny to have a situation like that for the sad girl.
yeah.
Is Marisol?
That girl meets it.
Is Marisol?
Even Gother.
So
Is that her human lover?
yeah, I was gonna say like
That's the human, as it turns out.
you want it to be
But
that
very
quick,
goth.
you want to save the human lover for later. Like
We only have 2 more. We have like what? How many more sessions after this?
that's
Wait,
true.
you mean a goth would limit themselves in that way?
Sorry. I try not to die.
Thank God nobody was drinking
but I
coffee.
feel it would be kind of cool, like your memory of her is before she was turned into an aswang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably have no idea what she is like right now, and
Yeah.
I think if the consequence is freeing her.
Yeah, because you were just talking about brown hair. I remember, right? Is that right? Like,
Yeah. The only idea I had is like she had dark brown hair and had a camera.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's go for it. So I'm looking at the aswang, in terms of like what they look like. Yeah. So she comes out from the shadows. In fact, like, what happens is you see this creature, this being, like just sort of walk really nonchalantly, like with a confidence, with a swagger that you would never associate with your human lover, because she never walked in quite that way. And in this one, she's wearing like an incredibly sharp suit, just all different shades of black, different textures of black, but it's incredibly sharp. It moves and molds with her. The hair is long and dark and wispy, and the eyes are just completely black, but there's slits of red that come down, and she's wearing dark red lipstick. And as she moves closer, she smiles. Is Marisol out in the open, or is Marisol like? Oh no, because you retreated. We established
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe I think what looks like when she retreats to the background is just kind of like it is kind of like just like fading. It almost like, because the picture I took for Marisol is a painting on a wall.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like that.
Got it.
Not literally, well, kind of literally, I suppose.
Yeah. I like the idea of your human lover showing up, but she doesn't remember you, because when she turned into an aswang, they took away those memories. Is that salt? Too much salt?
No, it's good. Because there's a possibility of getting more memories in the future. Because even Marisol only has 2 to hold on to.
Yeah. So it could be recovered in the future. We'll definitely put that. But she walks over. Eduardo's kind of like recovering, right? Ava's a little more present. She steps forward, and let's give her a name. It's a really cool name. I will. What was I'm gonna steal. What did my partner call their aswang? Shoot. I forgot. It's like the word for bleed or something. I forgot. But yeah. So like, we'll get to that in a bit. Names are difficult, but she steps forward, and you can see that she looks surprised that you were able to defeat Caesar so easily. It looks like it was very easy. It just took a miracle. But and she looks surprised. She was like saying, "You're the first person who's been able to stand up to Caesar and to stand up the Corp in such an effortless way." Like, she really does not recognize the effort that was involved. And she says, "I can see why you're so dangerous to the Corp. But I see now that we can be free." And she sort of stops for a moment. She says, "There's something that's very important to me. Someone, I think. I have to find them, but if you will have me, I will fight with you.
I feel like this is going to kind of fall on either Ava or Marisol because I'm still kind of out of it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Marisol is resolutely in the background. It's just too much. The sequence of events is too much, and now literally the girl of her kind of dreams, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's kind of walked in, and it's just, honestly, to Marisol, it's just so much. I think she's struck numb, and I don't think anyone even knows that she's there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and so Ava, you recognize her as an Aswang. I feel like as a Tikbalang, you can sort of recognize it because Aswang are like predators. They are the assassins of the Corp. So you can recognize predator recognizing another predator. All those aspects of you that know what that's like. You can see it in the way she moves. But she's very unguarded right now. She's very open. She's not trying to protect herself in any way or go after anything. And she sort of smiles at you, and then this little like fang comes out as she smiles.
I step between her and the others, like just instinctively, since I seem to be the only one of us that's at all functional at the moment. And I mean, she's just looking for someone, right?
Yeah, and she's offering her services to support the rebellion. But meta-wise, we know that she's going to join, but character-wise, there's still
right
danger because she just came for the Corp and stuff like that. Ooh, I wonder if this is a good time for the Tikbalang to connect to the city's heart. Like maybe the city's heart is trying to say something about this Aswang.
I mean, it could be, but also considering that Ava was basically first on the spot. I mean, Ava, I'm going to be out of it for a little bit. Is there any chance you could just like watch over me?
Yeah, I mean,
protect me if anything pops up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So,
all right. So there's another token because that hits your lure.
Oh, that's right. Lures.
Yeah, someone asked protection or sage advice, right? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not letting I'm suspicious of her. I don't think that she's like. I recognize she's an elemental. Cool. How did you get free?
She's gonna be very honest. She was like saying, the mission that they gave me was to get close to the elementals and infiltrate. In fact, like she's very open about it. She shows you that information. You receive it. What her mission orders were, and she tells you there are many of us who have been sent out. Like me, there are some of us who don't want to be doing this, but I don't think we felt like we had a choice, and I didn't feel like I had a choice until I saw what you could do. And she pointedly looks at the remains of Caesar, which is just like this flickering like corpse of a thing on the ground. Like she just sort of nudges it, like it's just his clothes that are left behind. And she's like, so I think if you display your power, it will embolden more elementals.
I narrow my eyes a little bit.
Well, displaying our power also draws attention from the core.
She
trying to avoid that. There aren't really that many of us.
No, there aren't. And that's true. But she looks at you and she says, but hasn't it been calling out to you? The heart of the city? Don't you think the heart of the city could grant us the power that we need? Don't
Have
you
you-
think if we did something really big,
Have
the
you
Corp
tried
would have
talking to it?
She pauses for a moment, and like when you ask her, you can see her trying to remember, and then her eyes flicker like she's hitting like nothing. She says, I feel like I have, but I don't. And she pauses. I think you know, though, Ava, that the heart of the city sometimes does this. It's so powerful that when elementals or beings of magic reach out to talk to the heart of the city, it sometimes erases their memory in the process.
Yeah. Okay.
What are the little gods whispering about right now?
Ooh. So the little gods are with sorry. What the little gods are whispering is like, do you know that one and the sad one? They used to be like, so they're gossiping about Marisol and Arasol.
What essential truth am I not seeing about this Aswan?
Oh. That she is incredibly heartbroken, but she doesn't remember it. That's her tragedy.
Hmm.
That she's lost the other half of her and she's searching for it.
That is none more goth. Jesus. Oh,
Hey,
can
so
can I call for a tiny break? So we need to use the toilet.
Yeah, sure.
Sure,
No, I was
sure.
about to say let's have a 5 minute, 10 minute break. 5 minutes.
Oh,
5 minutes.
Yeah. Also,
Oh, sorry, you were saying?
yeah, and also my
You can
internet's being really slow because, like I said,
Sure.
I asked for a break, and then suddenly things were jumping out. Oh, just 5 minutes, fine. I need to.
Sure. I'll see everybody in 5 minutes.
sure thing.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sorry, my internet started being weird. Like everyone was like delayed. But I think it's better now.
Ooh. Okay, sure. Like turning robot-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, sorry if I interrupted in the middle of the flow of that scene.
No, it's super good. I'm really glad though. I've been really trying to do more breaks. Like I'm trying to do it every hour, so I'm really glad you brought it up. So yay! But yeah, speaking of which, I know originally I said you'd only do 3 hours, maybe, but we have hit the third hour. How are you feeling though? Like, do we want to go for another 30 minutes for the whole hour? Like, what are we up?
I would at least like to hit something that feels more like a logical stopping point, and I don't feel like we're there yet.
Yeah. it kinda
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Sure,
I'm
sure,
down for
sure.
that.
I mean, maybe after I'm thinking after we finish up whatever's going on in this scene, and then after Ava gets to the heart of the city and does whatever they need to do there. I mean,
Awesome.
does that sound like it might be?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Baby Yoda. Okay. I'm ready. I'm preparing mentally. But yeah, so where we left off, we can sense this very confident looking, eager to go at it. Aswang is carrying a lot of heartache, a lot of pain um, inside of them, which Eduardo can sense.
But
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there's also something else I know, and I'm not sure if this is a move that I need to make or if this is something that I can just state because of my experience at the Corp. They don't just let elementals go wander around, even ones they sort of trust. I mean, think of it like a prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got trustees, and they have greater freedom to move about the facility, but they're still in prison. They don't let them run around outside.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
Corp doesn't let elementals loose without some kind of control or safety mechanism or poison pill or some way to encourage, or well, not encourage, but some way to enforce compliance, or if the elemental still doesn't comply, terminate.
Yeah. Do you want to trigger speak a true prophecy or lie about it?
Well, this is kind of what I'm at, and this is kind of what I'm getting at. It's like we can do that, and I'm totally happy to do that. I didn't know if there was another way to do that.
Sure. Another way, it could be like take action, inviting risk is our general catch-all move. So it could be like as you try to find out this information, you are risking yourself in the process. That could cover it. It could also be about what the little gods are whispering about. You could try to get information from them as a neutral move. I will say it won't be as much information as a prophecy, right? Maybe because like
Okay.
yeah.
So that prophecy move is the best way to leverage Eduardo's experience with the Corp. Because we've already established that he knew about the machine that Caesar was using to cause all this mayhem. So he would have at least some of that information and know that they don't just like let elementals wander around outside. Okay. Is that a token move, or is that just a normal, or is that a neutral move?
Oh, if we're going to go with the prophecy, definitely a token move. Let me
All
double
right.
check. Yeah. Strong move.
Okay. Well, I will spend a token to make that declaration then.
Yeah. So what is the prophecy like? Like what is the, because what's coming to mind for me is what if there's some sort of like time limit, like there's sort of like there's something installed within each elemental to make sure they caught water off, or like a time bomb or something like that. Like unless they go back to the Corp every so often.
Well, and this is why I was trying to figure out which move was better with this, because it's not so much a prophecy as it is that he knows the security protocols for the elementals. And it's kind of an ET phone home thing at the very minimum. They're on something like a leash, where if they are not checking in, they are not providing information. They get a warning or two, and then it gets bad, and then it gets really bad. So it's less of a prophecy and more of just saying, oh, by the way, they're hooked into the Corp. They're not just roaming around free at this point. And if they're saying that they were out here because the Corp sent them out here, that means the Corp still has these hooks.
Okay. So you don't want to go into a prophecy move necessarily.
I mean, if that's the easiest way to do it, then yes. But
if it's I'm giving back the token though, because if it's a prophecy, it's really like I have to, there's a lot of power behind a strong move, right? It's sort of like you can prophesize something big, something specific, something really powerful. But if you just want it to be like, no, I know that the Corp has its hooks on you. I know that you have to check in. Like if it's something that neutral, then we can just stick to, just have it like outside of a move, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. But good.
That works for me, because it's just he's basically like saying, yeah, this is all well and good, but I know the security protocols and I know how that works, and that what you're describing is not how it works. So why are you not telling us and I don't know that he'd be quite this blunt. This is part of this is that's going on in his head. It's like, what are you hiding? And why are you hiding it?
Though I do want to say that we chose the option, we choose to free an enslaved and they join our cause. So it's up to us what that looks like.
And maybe there's a way that Eduardo can use that information to help sever those hooks. So
yeah, but like she said, she was sent to infiltrate, she was sent to join the revolution, she was sent to bring the Corp down on whatever rebel cells that she could find, right? So she's very straightforward and forthcoming about that. So definitely there is a connection to the Corp. Because I don't want to take away from the power of the move of like being able to just free the enslaved in one go. Like that's a lot of that, because like you really earn it from like bringing about the rebirth of magic, right? Like it's supposed to be a big deal. You were able to pull it off. So it could be related to the miracle you performed. Or it could be something else, right? Like
you know what? That does miracles do a lot of weird things and have a lot of unanticipated effects. I mean, I didn't anticipate that all the souls would start inhabiting robots and bring the robots back to life. So maybe it snapped the chain.
Yeah. Right. And you could maybe like Eduardo senses it, like he reaches out and he's like, no, I know you're supposed to have a chain on you. And then you sort of sense the little god of debt within you say, but it was the chain that gave her the most trauma. And so that's why it was able to be, like part of it was able to be released. And I would say because she hasn't been an enslaved as long as the rest of you, for sure. Like she's only been an enslaved for a while.
Jamie, I gotta ask, do you try to make people tear up in your games, or is that just the side effect?
Yeah, it's a hazard.
Okay. I'll make sure I've got some Kleenex for next week. Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. But that's why. So like, and the little god tells you, like I said, you're not alone. Yeah. And so, but I had 5 minutes to think of a name, and I still don't have a name for our swang. Let me just quickly. I remember.
Celeste is a very gothy name.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, let's go with it. Okay, going with Celeste. I feel like that's going to be related to I pressed the wrong tab. I was trying to get to the tab and I pressed the StreamYard tab. Um, let's see. Just writing it down. Oh, I should put notes here. Okay. Yeah, just writing it down for Celeste. Goth girlfriend. So there we go. So, but you can see, and she's getting used to being free. She's getting used to the sensation of it. I mean, she's kind of too cool to smile, right? But like you can sense the ease there. But Ava, what do you do in this situation? So Eduardo is resting. Eduardo has expressed his doubts, but has seen that Celeste herself is free. What did Ava like to do? Because I will say that the spirit guide, the one from earlier from the spirit realm, is kind of like they're not there all the time, but they come back. Like when you blink and they show up and they're like, we still have these vacuums. Like,
Right. Yes. I should probably, maybe, you know what? I'm going to ask. I'm going to try to ask the heart of the city. Like, I think I'm just going to listen because there are two things I want to know. One is what to do about that. I have no idea if the heart of the city would know about anything about that at all. But the other thing, and I think they might know more about, is that apparently there's a whole bunch of elementals wandering around the city semi-free and looking for us. That's a problem.
right.
Or maybe it's an opportunity. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one because you don't know if it's more danger or possible. If you could,
right? Like if we could get them free the same way as this person, then that's awesome. But also they're currently kind of a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does it look like when you reach out to the heart of the city?
I think I have to go to a specific place.
Yeah, I sort of have an idea. Yeah, go ahead.
Wherever that is, like kind of in the center. And underground. Ooh.
Yeah. Nice. I like this. So like one of the other robots that never came back to life, like it's really just it's just parts of it, like the whole robot's not there anymore. There's a part where its huge arm sort of like slammed into the ground, and so it creates this like area for you to go deep underground, and you're sort of like walking inside the robot, right, going into what is inside of it. But parts of this robot have over they're like plants that are starting to grow here. There's greenery. There are some smaller robots, kind of like BB-8, like these little robots, and like beep,
like inside this giant robot arm.
Yeah, and they're there to like attend to the plants. Like you can see them like pruning, and then like this water's coming out, and they're tending to it. And you walk. I feel like when you start walking, you're already like what you're doing, right? You have to enter into this state. So like it's almost like a walking meditation. And
probably into a place that's small enough that I have to transform to pass through it.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah. So like a proper sized, or it could be like a humongous mite. I don't know. To go there.
Like, mouse or something along those lines. They can like scuttle through this little tiny pipe through the robot's fingers.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. So you get through. You get to the other side. It opens up again, right? And then so there's this space. I'll say that you weren't the one who created this space. You found this space, like someone else set it up for you. You don't know who. Just that the spirit realm showed you. This is how we connect to the heart of the city. And when you get here, you can sort of start to hear it, like this slow thrumming sound, very rhythmic, but it's just like, it's not a real sound, right? It's like you can tell it's a sound that's coming through spirit. It's not a physical sound, but you can hear it, you can sense it. Yeah. And then when you get closer, it starts to like, the sound gets a little excited, like it starts beating a little faster. My question for Marisol, for Leandro, is what ghost hangs out here that won't leave this place that Ava sees?
I think if it's like close to like the heart of the city, it has to be some ghost who feels like they're from like another like period in time. I'm imagining. So I'm trying to remember bits of Tagalog that I still remember. I've forgotten too much. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm imagining they look like a farmer.
Ooh,
For some reason.
yeah.
Like,
Like way before the city was like even.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So they've got shorts on. They've got a straw hat. Um, uh, they have like a bit of rope on their shoulder. They 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 look like a connection. Like even though they look incongruent from where we are now, them being here is kind of like, oh, they're from here when the city just started, when it was a
Right, like
town, you know.
they built it. Yeah, they helped set the foundation. Yeah, and I feel like they were the ones who like first connected to the heart of the city. That's why they're so. Yeah. I love this idea. Yeah, so like, I feel like compared to all the other ghosts Marisol comes across, he's very calm, like very laid back.
Yeah, he's not a hollow ghost like everyone else here, which like kind of like weird memories. He's like an actual ghost.
And he's had a long time to get used to it, so
Yeah.
he's pretty chill.
Yeah, he's very, very chill. Like he's very. I feel like he's almost like the toll dude. Like he's just like, oh, you're here to check out the house and talk and listen to it. So I'm here to help you. Yeah, but speaking of toll,
Walmart greeter of the underworld.
Yeah. I feel like he's like one of those. Like he's just accepted. Like okay, things are. He knows that things are like are kind of crazy in the city, but he's in an area that's like away from that. But yeah, so he's very patient. He just putters along doing his own thing. He's not going to bother you, but he's just there to support you. How do you
wave and greet him and keep walking?
Yeah.
I've seen him before. He hangs out here.
Yeah,
You know, he tends
he's usually like this nod,
he
like,
tends imaginary invisible plants along with the robots who are tending the real plants.
oh yeah, oh my gosh, I love this ghost plants. Yes, let's put them in. So there's some ghost plants he tends to for sure. Okay, so when you reach the area, so you're gonna ask the question of what is the first question about the?
Is there a set of questions I need to ask for?
Oh no! Like oh yeah, you're gonna ask about the vacuum thing. I remember.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that's actually a kind of a secondary concern. Like, it's a thing I know I'll have to deal with, but at the moment, I'm more concerned about all these elementals, and I feel like the heart of the city would have more information about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just checking. I'm looking at what we've written for the desires. Ooh, yeah. Okay, it makes sense. Sorry. There's some sounds happening here. Anyway, so when you seek it out, I feel like when you talk to the heart of the city, you don't really, it's like you're asking, but it's not words, right? It's just sort of that sensation, that question just comes naturally. And the heart also communicates in a similar way where it does not communicate through words. Like Baby Yoda,
Yeah.
Yoda doesn't use
I think it's maybe just like this overwhelming wave of noise, and I have to like get used to it and slowly pick out the bits that I'm interested in.
Yeah. Okay, I love that idea. So basically, when you ask, like, so the heart of the city is connected to everything, everyone within the city. So you sort of see very quickly. We're not going to go to too much detail, but you can see all the elementals who are still enslaved by the Corp. You can see what they're going through, and then you can see some of the elementals who have faded, who have given into the fading, and have moved on to whatever awaits them. And you also see the elementals who are sent out. And there's quite a lot. I would say that it feels like there are about 36 of them. So it's a pretty big number. But you also see how unforgiving the Corp is. Like if they are out of line in any way, if they suspect anything, they do not hesitate to, as the Corp puts it, destroy the asset. Right. So you realize how much of a miracle it was that you were able to, that Eduardo was able to get Celeste to be free. But, part of it is because she hadn't been enslaved for so long. Part of it is the miracle. Like, it was just like all of these things coming together. The heart of the city communicates to you how difficult. It's still worth going after to free these elementals, but that it would just be difficult. But there is a way, if you heal them, that is what's going to get them, rather than violence.
Okay. Well, because there's a specific elemental that I'm interested in freeing, and I want to know if she's one of these people that were, sent out, or if she's still trapped.
I like the idea of her being one of the sleeper agents, though, being one of the, well, not necessarily, but agents. I like that idea. We established, oh gosh, yeah, I really can't remember the last session because of was she a Dewada? Is that what we established? Or did we say
yes.
Okay. I would say that that she used to only be focused on like a particular element. Like she used to favor fire, right? So she had that kind of personality. But when the heart of the city shows you what she looks like, you can see all the elements just sort of like fighting against each other across her form, across her body. You can see she's been turned into something that is pure rage, pure violence. She's specifically going after every Tikbalang that she can track down.
Good.
Yeah.
I can definitely rescue her without violence. Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
This isn't going to suck at all.
I love how excited you are.
No, I think like in character, I'm like, this is worse than if she had just still been trapped where we left her.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you'll see the heart will show you she volunteered for this. Because when she stayed there, she was so overwhelmed by all the painful memories, all the regret that she didn't realize what the Corp was going to do with her. She didn't realize they were going to make her stronger, and in so doing, stoke that rage and violence that is not her. But she volunteered for this, not knowing what they would do to her.
Did Ava bring anybody with her to the heart of the city this time?
No.
Or when she was consulting with the heart of the city? So there's nobody around?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, aside from Ghost Farmer.
Yeah, the Manong ghost. Like Manong means what's how do you translate Manong? Like older.
Just older man.
Older man.
No, not even older man, like adult man.
Yeah, but there's this sense of like you can trust him and he takes care of things. Like even though it just literally means older dude.
Isn't there a Japanese equivalent?
I think there's a Japanese. It's a lot of Asian words for this. Anyway. But yeah, so Manong is there. And he's just putting away. In fact, when the heart of the city shows the memories, he goes, yeah, this looks pretty bad. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Like he looks pretty confident in you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the confidence.
It's so weird, Gabby. When you did that, I just had a severe flashback to a bunch of like older male relatives doing the exact
right.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, you have this big thing on your plate. You can do it.
Yeah.
But he's very supportive. He's offering nothing tangible except his,
right. Yeah.
In you. But you do have the information. You do know that's doable. The heart of the city does want to help you. And the heart of the city says, what this doesn't really say, but communicates, if you can get to the core of the city, to where it is, and you can see like it's through all these layers of steel and light and maze, and you can also see it goes deeper and deeper into the city, and you can see that sentient fog that you've just seen bits and pieces around in the area. It's all concentrated there in the middle, but in the middle of it is the heart of the city. Like it's just this thrum of machinery and magic. If you can survive the journey to me, we can free all of them at the same time.
Okay, obviously I have to do that.
And the Manong says, well, sure, you don't have to, but you know,
No,
I
I do have to. If there's 30 some elementals out there, for lots of reasons, I have to.
Getting that much magic would also, that would be like, because one elemental is worth how many dozens of people? It would really be an army if you could get all of them for sure. Yeah, but Manong sort of says, well, you know, you could run away, settle down, you leave this behind, get a farm, leave the city.
I'll think about it. Not mentioning that there just aren't any farms anywhere. But
Yeah,
the land outside the city is just blasted wasteland, full of unexploded bombs.
Yeah, he's an out of touch
No
Manong.
farms out there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell him that.
Yeah. He means well. But yeah, so you have that information. Yeah, I'm trying to look at, I feel like the heart of the city would tell you there's a guide. I'm looking at who we are bonded to. And I feel like any one of these could help. It could be the machinist.
Well, she's one of the elementals.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
We put that together. Whoops. And now she's an agent. Whoops.
Yeah. A very angry agent.
Whoops. Yeah, it could be. I'm open to any one of our other bonds being helpful. So it could be the bubbly sex worker or the virtual pop singer. Like maybe they have information that could make accessing the heart of the city easier.
Sex workers hear a lot of things because, people kind of treat them like they're invisible. They'll say things in front of them like they're not even there. It is not at all out of the question that, bear with me for a moment while I go through my notes real quick,
Yeah,
that
sure.
Layla, might have been entertaining a couple of agents or officers or employees of the Corp and just had them doing their casual, mindless thing where they weren't paying attention to who else is around and just said a lot of stuff they shouldn't have said right in front of her.
Ooh, could I suggest that the Corp knows about the heart of the city and they're trying to get to the heart of the city as well?
Oh, I mean, that would be that's a powerful elemental they could put to use there.
Yeah, and I feel like the Corp doesn't even understand how powerful it is. They don't understand that it's an elemental, but they just want to have it. It's just pure greed. They're like, we'll just get it and then figure it out. Yeah. So I would say that Layla overheard this, and they just assumed she wouldn't understand what they were talking about.
She's a dancer. I mean, probably thinking about shoes or platform heels or who knows.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that. And so I think Ava, you see an image of Layla very clearly. She's preparing for the evening. She's in front of a mirror. This is a cyberpunk future, so there's a lot of purples and pinks, right? Like she's just bathed in neon. And she's very meticulously putting on her makeup. And you can sense the heart of the city is saying, she can help you.
Okay. Excellent. And I think that's when I like disconnect, still thinking about how, oh yeah, the person I'm trying to save is now this rage-filled elemental who's hunting me. And yeah, just kind of stagger back from this, like, again, overwhelming wave of noise that I've been, been sorting through for a while, and make my way back through the fingers and arms of the robot.
And then as you leave, Manong says, "Don't forget, make sure to eat your vegetables. Make sure to take care of yourself."
Yeah, I will, and I wave at him.
Yeah.
Thanks,
As you head
Grandpa.
And then a robot comes up to him and goes, "Oh," and they start hanging out. They're very chill together. I'm just double checking. I'm looking at. Yeah. I'm just double checking the moves, but definitely, yeah, I feel that played out well. So let's. What would we like to focus on next? Like, this would potentially be our last scene for the session. We can set things up for going towards the heart. We can.
I think I didn't have an idea for setting up for going to the heart, but I did want like kind of like a quick scene with Eduardo.
Of
That's
course.
okay.
I
Go
was
ahead.
actually going to suggest that maybe we close up with you, because I feel like Eduardo and Ava have kind of been kind of a focus.
Yeah, but I think Marisol would want to talk to someone she knows. That's
Sure.
the thing. I think this is kind of like maybe like a few hours after the whole miracle thing, and no one's seen
Probably had
Marisol.
some tea and, able to talk and be conscious and semi-coherent again.
Yeah, and I think Marisol spent this time kind of like while Ava's going off to the heart to like just flit through the background, take in what's happening, try her best not to talk to potential goth girlfriend.
So cute.
It's horrible.
So cute.
And
So goth.
yeah, so I think where is Eduardo when like Marisol finds him?
I think I don't feel like we have traditional bedrooms or anything like that. I mean, we're set up around a robot. But I think what you do find is that near the area where he does the meditation classes, there he's got a blanket strung up by something so that it's kind of a curtain. And there's a cot or something like that behind it. And it's where he rests, it's where he sleeps. And right now he's there sort of recuperating because he's a little worn out.
Yeah, and I think Marisol kind of like, from what it looks like, it does look like she steps out of a wall. Most likely she's just skirting close to the wall, but it just looks like she steps out. And everyone else looks kind of like rested and happy-ish because they got some of their trauma got rid of. So I think when you see Marisol, it looks really obvious that like she didn't get any of that. She always kind of looks haunted, but she looks even more than usual. And because I think what it looks like is she's taken off her glasses. Usually she has like glasses full of code, and then when she looks at it, her eyes are kind of like glitched out. But I think now she took off the glasses and she what is the name? The weak move. She gave into the fading a bit, so she has normal eyes.
Ooh, let's give you that token. Yeah.
Yeah. And those eyes they're saying everything she's trying to hide. For sure. And she says, are you okay? It sounds like you got hit bad, but
it took a bit out of me, but I'm fine. I feel like a day or two is, like a good night's sleep and maybe some more green tea, and I'll be okay.
That's good.
Do you want some tea? I've got a fresh pot that I just put on.
Sure. I'll have some tea. And
Pour a cup and hand it to you.
Yeah, I think she's still wearing her big gloves, so they're kind of awkward. And the tea's kind of sitting awkwardly in her gloved hands, and then she's kind of just looking at it, and she's like, "I
You
didn't."
It's tea. You drink it.
Yeah.
You raise it to your lips, and it interacts with your mouth, and it tastes good. You seem you're kind of staring at it like you don't know what it is.
I know what tea is. I haven't forgotten that much.
Marisol, I'm teasing you. It's okay.
I know. I was teasing back. I'm just not good at it. I didn't know you could do what you kind of did. I didn't know you could just. Everyone seems so happy at the moment.
Well, Marisol, I didn't necessarily know that I could do it either. But there was a little god in the area that started singing to me, and well, when you have help, you can do just about anything.
And I think Marisol kind of like takes that in, and she'll take a sip, and so is there anything you can't do? With help, I mean.
Anything I can't do with help. I don't know. I mean, I probably couldn't fly across the universe at light speed, but maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that would be neat to see. You'd have to
Wouldn't
tell
it,
us what you find. Yeah, it'll be nice.
Marisol,
Mhm.
something's bothering you.
Yeah, it's just you know how everyone's feeling happy because they got bad stuff in their minds got kind of like wiped away. That kind of didn't happen for me, and feels like I fucked up somehow. Like
How, Marisol, how can you feel like you fucked up somehow?
because I don't feel happy. Everyone's feeling happy right now, and
I think what you're saying isn't happiness per se. I think you're seeing something more like relief. Like when you have a really bad headache and you go to bed and you wake up and it's gone. So I don't think you're seeing happiness exactly. I think you're seeing people who are, after some time, maybe a long time, finally unburdened. They got to stop carrying something with them. And you more than most, you carry a lot with you. You carry the things that you remember from your life. You carry the things that other people remember from theirs. And it all gets mashed together. And you have so much up there that there's no way you could feel the relief that someone in that meditation class did. You've absorbed so much from so many people and helped so many people in the process. But what you've taken on in return, that's a weight that's horrifically heavy to bear.
yeah, well, I don't. Everyone's unburdened, but yeah, it feels like things just got heavier, you know?
Well,
So,
in a way, they did. I mean, we now know we could do something that we didn't know we could do before. And knowledge is always a weight. There's a responsibility there.
I know. I know. I just it just gets heavier and heavier, and some days I know my Eduardo, you're being nice. I just sometimes you carry so much you just want to let go, you know?
I can understand that. I've been there. And in a way, I did let go. And I still have those burdens that I carry.
How did it feel when you did? When you let go, I mean.
I felt the weight of every awful thing I had ever done. And the knowledge that I had to spend the rest of my time doing whatever I could to try to make it right. Knowing that I'd never be able to get the scales even close to even, but knowing that I couldn't keep going the way I was. So I walked away. Those burdens are like chains. They hold you back to keep you from walking as fast as you'd like. They hobble you.
Oh yeah, I just remembered that like one of those things Eduardo did is to Marisol. I just remembered that.
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Yeah, I see what the chat was going.
And is that little god of death still roaming around? Is that?
Oh, yeah, you can never get rid of death, for sure.
Does this little god have a name yet?
Oh, when you sort of like feel that out, like you're trying to feel the name, I'd like to ask you that, Eduardo, considering that they're little gods. What does it take for a little god to regain a name?
I think it takes someone listening to them and both acting on and resolving something in a way that they approve of. It may not be something that you may not be resolving something that they personally want done, but that you have to resolve a situation in a way that they would have resolved it if they still had that power. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel that. And so what this little god of death looks like right now is they're almost ephemeral, like they're so small, they're only like a few inches high. They look like they're made of white bone, but you can sort of see through them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like these large blank eyes. And as the little god of death walks towards you, kind of like climbs up onto the cot you're in, they like crawl up to your chest.
Mm-hmm.
They place a little hand on your chest, and they're sort of waiting. They're waiting for you to see if you're going to try to return a bit of what you owe to Marisol.
Thanks for coming. I could use your help again.
They nod, and you sort of hear them say, "My name is Utang," which is Filipino for debt.
Mm-hmm.
Mother little Utang. I want to help my friend here. But I don't know the best way to do that.
And Utang looks at Marisol. Can Marisol see any of this, or is this just something Eduardo has? Is it the same like where Eduardo freezes time again to talk to the gods, or can Marisol see this?
I actually think it's more interesting if she can't see this. If, like this is for Eduardo, with all the benefits and curses that it gets.
True. How do we feel about that for Eduardo?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So like as you say you want to help, Utang looks over to Marisol and says, "But don't you see it, Eduardo? There's a little god inside of her too. The god of letting go that she's ready to become."
So how do we help her do that, Utang?
Ooh. Utang says, if she lets go of the memories that haunt her, she can make new ones with love that has returned.
Utang. Would you stay with me for a while? I have a lot of debts that I need to settle. I've done a lot of things that I need to make right. And I could really use your help.
You're not alone. Utang is with you, they say.
All right. Let's help my friend. Hey, do you know the name of the little god inside her?
The little god is called Surrender.
Okay. So Marisol, I think I can help you. This may sound strange, but you have a god inside you. You are a god with a god inside you.
Trying to think how she'd react to that. I've been doing this a lot lately, where I just kind of like say out loud what my thought process is, and then play it out. If that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that too when I play.
I don't know if she'd react well to this. Because you mentioned like of these elementals, seeing Santelmo is one specifically that used to be human. I don't know if she wants to be a god. So I think
it's a lot. It's a lot, especially when what your idea of God is versus what Eduardo's idea of a god is.
Yeah, and I think Marisol will kind of like drop her tea, and there's still quite a bit of it, so it can like, and it's not a long drop because she's just over the table, but she can like just drops. It's like, what? Sorry.
The relief that you're seeing in the people out there is that they were unburdened. I have, well, I guess I'd call her a friend who she says that we can help you and we can help you unburden yourself. And that the little god inside you can help as well. Because the little god inside you is called surrender. And all you have to do for us to help you is sit there and be willing to let go, to not hang on to the pain and the misery and the suffering that you hold in your side, that you hold inside, that you hold in yourself.
Ooh, I think, okay. Here's what Marisol says. She says, wait, let go. You mean just let everything go, everything I have? But then what's going to be left? What's going to be left behind? Is there anything that's going to be left behind?
This is the good part. This is Utang has pointed out to me that when you do this, if you do this, there's a lot that's going to go away. But think about what that is. It's the memories of people who were in agony, who were afraid, who were terrified. And when that leaves you, it opens up space for you to make new memories, to have new experiences to remember, to have new love fill you.
But somewhere in there is me. I don't even. How do I know where to go forward? I don't know where I came from. If I let it all go, I'll always be wondering, won't I? I'll just somewhere. I started somewhere, and somewhere in all that pain is who I am.
Is it really though?
Is that something you can do? Know everything?
Do you define yourself by your pain?
I'm not defined by anything. That's the problem. Pain's the closest thing I have.
This will clear all of that away and let you determine who you truly are.
If this was Monster Hearts, Marisol would run away.
You can fade into the background.
That's what here's what I'm gonna do. She is going to phase into the underworld. She's gonna use magic to I'm sorry, Eduardo, you're doing your best, but like I have to be an angsty hot mess. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I shouldn't laugh.
Well, this isn't. I'm not gonna work miracles on you without your consent. This is too big. Yeah, this isn't just like inadvertently taking a memory. This is basically saying
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is Marisol opening a portal to Sulad?
Yes, I think she panics. But I'm gonna use a token, so nothing horrible happens. But like
no, yeah. Ooh. Do we want to start with that in the next session, like this opening of the portal? And you were saying, fuck it.
Is this a portal that I could walk through?
The thing is, the magic says your form phases in and out, so I think it's less a portal and more like Marisol kind of starts fading into another reality.
I am totally fine with stopping there and picking up next time with Marisol, like phasing into the underworld or something along those lines.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that move in a different color so we know that's what we're doing next. Jamie, don't be OC about the color. Just choose one and go with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know Eduardo's means well, but
but this is so good. This is really.
I just want to apologize to Puckett because I know he's trying his best.
You can't not be an angsty goth girl.
Leandro, listen, you're playing a character. This is part of the game. You don't owe me an apology.
Yeah. But I thought it was so beautifully done. I really like that. So I think what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and then the rest of us can debrief. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you so much for watching part 2 of our Balikbayan series.